Welcome to our second session. Hoping our session finds all of you safe and sound. Now, let me welcome our instructor, Dr. Mustafa Yusuf. Hi, Dr. Mustafa. Thanks for joining us. You can go ahead sharing your screen. I wish you all the best.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
And
welcome.
once again, I'm really happy to be with you all today. And special thanks to SPE and Future University in Egypt. And let me share my screen. Okay. Right. And again, maybe just a special request. Maybe if you have any comments, please post them in the chat box. And maybe the moderators can help me get to know what people are writing in the chat box. So just in case I'm focusing on the slides, uh, I'm still able to know what you are commenting on. Okay, and is everyone ready?
Sure, we
I'm
are
not
ready.
sure if people are still joining, but please let me know if we are ready.
Ready, inshallah.
Okay, so let's move on. So let me just go to. Okay, so today is the second part or the second episode of the series of professional skills. Today we're going to talk about CV writing, and tomorrow, inshallah, we're going to talk about interview skills. So the second step here of applying for a job, we mentioned last week that we usually start the procedure with writing an email. If you see like a kind of post for a job and you would like to apply, for sure you apply using a business email or you write an email in a formal format and you try to show to the employer or when you send it to the email for the HR, you are trying to show that you are interested in the job and you are interested to join that institution. And another thing you need to prepare is to prepare your CV because just in case they are going to reply back to you and they are going to invite you for an interview, you need to send your CV or you need to have your CV ready in any way. And let's go on today and explore how we can write a professional CV, what are the requirements of CV, what does it consist of, and tips and tricks. Okay, so first of all, the agenda, what we're going to cover today. So we're going to have why CV, what is the importance of having a CV actually, basics of writing CV, fundamental things or fundamental requirements, format, how it should look, tips and tricks, things to be careful of, and useful websites that can help us in being professional in the corporate life and in the professional atmosphere, and maybe they can help us in applying for a job too. Okay, and the first part is why CV? What is the importance of having a CV? Let's see together. So first thing, it introduces you to the employers because let's say, for example, you are an engineer. And today I'm going to try to give you multiple examples from different careers because I'm not really targeting a special career or a special major. I'm trying to make the session as much as possible to people from different backgrounds or if they are targeting different jobs. So let's say, for example, you are an engineer and you would like to send your CV to a big engineering company or engineering firm. We have lots of engineers in Egypt. We have millions of engineers. So the first thing which acts like your business card to the company is your CV because it has some of the information about you and it tells the employer simply, who are you? You have maybe HR people get tens of applications every day, maybe hundreds. So first things they need to know about you are your basic information before the step of inviting you for an interview. So a CV acts like your business card to the employer. It outlines your key qualifications. And what I mean by key and qualifications here are the main qualifications you have got. Why key? Why not all of the qualifications? Because you cannot write everything in the CV. The CV, you just focus on what's really important, what you need to highlight, or um, the big achievements you have done in your education, in your experience, something about your skills, but not everything. That's why employers ask you for an interview. So if the CV was enough, no employer would ask you for an interview. That's why they have step two, which is sitting for an interview. So you have the main elements in the CV. It introduces you to the employer, and just in case they need to know more about you, they need to have clarification, they need to have explanation, they need to ask you some specific questions, or to get to know more about you in detail, use it for the interview. So that's why I'm highlighting the word key, which means main elements. And what I mean by qualifications here may be something people get confused about. Qualifications and certificates. So qualifications are not shahadat. Certificates is shahadat, which is the paper document or the cartoon document that you get at the end of a course or at the end of graduation or when you finish a job at a certain place, so you get a certificate of experience. So those are certificates. Documents are certificates. What about qualifications? My qualifications دي is not شهادات? No. Qualifications is مؤهلات. So things which qualify you for a job. So qualifications can be, qualifications is the bigger word, it's the bigger umbrella. Qualifications يطلع منها certificates which are the documents ويطلع منها حاجات تانية مش certificates like skills for example. Things you can do, a hobby, a talent. For example, I can have a talent that qualifies me to do something بس ما معيش فيها certificate. As it qualifies me, that's why it's called the qualifications. So we need to think of qualifications as elements or a group of things or a bunch of things that qualify you for a job, whether they are certificates as documents, official documents, or not, or things that you can do. Okay, third point, archiving potential future candidates. So maybe a third importance for CV, employers don't actually throw CVs. Maybe if they hire or recruit 10 applicants out of 100, the rest of the 90 applicants مش هيرموهم. The rest of the 90 applicants, they archive them. يعني ايه archiving؟ يعني they save those CVs for future purposes. Maybe at one season or at one time or another يحصل shortage in their kind of recruitment. فما يبقاش عندهم enough time to recruit for new employees or to get to know or to get to advertise for their company to let people send their CVs. So what happens is بيبعتوا يجيبوا بقيه السي فيز اللي كانت في الدرج اللي كانت متشاله ومحدش كلمهم. So that's why having a CV actually keeps a record of your information and the record of your most recent qualifications, certificates, skills, anything about you just saved in the company's repository or in the company's archive. Okay, and let's move to the second part, which is basics. What are the basics of CV? Let me just say something in the very beginning. We do not really have a very straight jacket for a CV. يعني ايه straight jacket؟ يعني we don't have strict rules that we cannot break. هو في حاجات that should be done, that are recommended, that people are doing all over the world. بس ما فيش rules يعني 1 plus 1 equal 2. That's why if you ask anyone in the world or if you attend any session about CV writing, you will find all of them are different. مش هتلاقي ان في لازم نعمل حاجة فلانية، لازم to have special requirements or special font or special format. We have millions of formats, we have millions of shapes, different strategies to write a CV. So what I would like to say is that we have things that we should consider. It's highly preferable that we should use or we should include in our CV. But again, there is like a small room for flexibility. And if you just put something and you have a rationale for it, يعني لو انا معترض على حاجه او في part في السي في I need to change، طالما عندك logic behind it and what you are trying to target using that change، خلاص it's okay. It's all about logic and your logic behind what you are writing and what you are including in your CV. So let's see some of the basics اللي هي الحاجات اللي متعارف عليها people are familiar with، بيتكرروا في templates كتير، لازم يكونوا موجودين that make your CV effective. First of all, be formal. كلنا we agree on a CV cannot be informal. حاجة global. What's meant by formal is that anything from the shape of the CV, the font of the CV, the photo of the CV, everything about it should be formal. انت ما ينفعش تخلي السي في ده like something related to cartoon or full of animation or it has a Mickey Mouse or it has your nickname Mido Hamada. No, it can't be this way. So one thing we should be careful of is having everything related to business in general and related to CVs in particular to be formal. Second point, which is quite tricky and it needs a kind of management, is that you never lie but beautify. And what I mean by never lie but beautify, never ever, rule number one. And maybe people, you might have some people who have mixed opinions about it, but I would say my rule, at least in my book, never ever lie. Never include something in the CV that you can't do or that you don't have, because first of all, it's ethically wrong. So you shouldn't deceive the employer or deceive an HR person for being able to do something that you can't do. So ethically, it's incorrect. Number two, if you care about you, if you don't care about ethics and you just care about your appearance and how people are going to talk about you or so on, if people check or try to get to know more information about things you included in the CV and they are lies, you are in big trouble. You can be in legal trouble. So just in case you say, I'm a graduate of the faculty of medicine, but you are not a graduate of the faculty of medicine. You are a graduate of the faculty of pharmacy. Maybe you just want to change the name. You have a certain idea and you would like to change the name. Even if you just change it in the CV and you try to present it in this way, it can put you in legal trouble because you are trying to deceive in something related to documents. Number two, or another point, people will know that you are a big liar and you are an imposter, a deceiver. So you don't really want to put yourself in that sticky situation. But what we can do is that how we can highlight our points of strength, how we can sell ourselves. And I like the word sell ourselves very much. I maybe some people again have mixed ideas about it, but I don't see it as something demeaning or as something that decreases or lowers from your value. You are in the field of marketing. So what kind of marketing you are doing to yourself? If you are trying to apply for a job, we all know that, especially in Egypt, we have millions of people who are graduates. What's going to make you special? How you are going to highlight and focus on your strengths, the benefits that you can give to the company, uh, things that you can add, the added value, the contribution, the participation. So there are lots of ways to beautify, and beautifying here is not lying. Beautifying is focusing on the positive elements you have, as simple as that. So maybe let me try to give you just a very brief idea before we go on. So let's say, for example, you have got a mobile phone, which is a normal mobile phone, very simple one, nothing special about it. So lots of people have that kind of mobile phone. So it's not special, it's not the latest one, it's not super powerful, it's not super effective. So there is a way that I can tell you I have that mobile phone, which can make calls, which is a feature. You can use it to communicate with people. Or I can present it in another way. I can tell you that my mobile phone can communicate with people from all over the world. And I can send SMS in a couple of seconds. And I can check the internet from my mobile phone. I can check more than 10 million websites. 10 million websites دي هي لو انا كنت قلت I can check the internet وسكت. بس how you phrase it, how you say it, how you change the wording to give stronger effect بس بنفس المعنى. احنا ما كدبناش برضه. You can say in scenario 1 I can make phone calls. Scenario 2 you can say I can communicate with anyone in the world using that device. So it looks more of a global reach, as if you have something more powerful. بس هي what you have. So it's the idea of how you can add a bit of touch to what you have and focus on your positive points. Next point is be clear and specific. Anything in the CV there is a couple of papers. So it's not a story. Don't write your life story. Don't try to write where you were born and where you come from and how many children you have and what is your t-shirt size. No, be clear, be specific, be to the point. So again, we need to think of CV as a big business card. Yمكن a business card is too small. That's a kind of a more formal, a more integrated, a richer business card. So it should be clear, very specific, to the point, straightforward. Because you need to deliver or you need to communicate a message to the HR person or to the employer, which is clear, to the point, without unnecessary details. Next one is, for sure, we are trying to be clear, we are trying to be specific, be organized and neat. يعني أنا ممكن أبقى clear وspecific, بس everything is not in an organized fashion. Everything is abrupt, chaotic. The CV looks messy. ممكن تحط فيه clear points, ممكن تخلي البوينتس بتاعتك specific, بس the format, the template, the shape looks messy. The visual element in the CV is really significant. يعني when we have an HR person and HR people check or scan tens of CVs every day. يعني هم بالنسبه لهم بيبقى السي في ده حاجه كانها كده بيألف ورق. You need to make him comfortable. rule number 1 ما تحطلوش شيب او ما تحطلوش سي في يبقى شكله متعب للعين ان هو he is trying to search for the information. ما تتعبوش ان هو to keep seeking information. ويا ترى هو كاتب ايه فوق ويا ترى هو كاتب ايه تحت ويا ترى هو قصده ايه هنا ودي مش باينه ودي needs more details ودي فيها details زياده unnecessary. Keep it organized, keep it neat. So accordingly any information an HR person or an employer would like to find, you can find it easily. يعني بالعين كده ده education هبص هنا هلاقي info من غير ما يقعد يدور. So we need to work on how to make an HR person find your information clearly and easily. And the easily is a very important part. Okay. And maybe second goal, another golden rule is length, 2 pages maximum. Again, it's controversial. Yeah, you can find people who are having their CVs 3 pages, 4 pages, 5 pages, 1 page. That's what we agree on globally, or what we should do, or what's highly recommended is that it shouldn't exceed 2 pages. 2 pages is the very moderate gold standard. Maybe less than 2 pages can be too small, and more than 2 pages are too much. يعني we don't need the HR person to keep changing paper. هو مش كراسة he is going to يعني flip from one paper to another وانت كاتب حاجات. So maybe as a gold, again, as a gold standard, especially for fresh graduates or people who have a kind of moderate experience, 2 pages can be very enough. ليه I'm saying that we have exceptions with the length؟ عشان في ناس الاكسبيرينس بتاعتها محتاجه صفحات. يعني if we try to think of a CEO of a company او people in higher management or someone who works in administration of a university or vice president or whatever, دي ناس مش هتكفيها 2 pages to write what they did, especially if they have like 30 or 40 years of experience. Probably they will write their CVs in 5 pages, maybe. So I'm just talking about people who have like 4 or 5 years of experience or fresh graduates. You can keep it in the range of 2 pages. Okay. So what's next is the most important part is the format. How does it look like? What are the elements that should be included and what to do in each element? Right. Today I'm trying to put just the points in the slides. يعني will not find wordy slides. ما عندناش يعني حاجات paragraphs or something to read. All of them are points and I will tell you the logic behind those points. And again, if you have any comment, if you have any question, please post them in the chat box and the moderators are going to ask me the questions. Okay, format, let's take a look at the traditional CV. يعني the normal CV, how it looks like. We have some elements. We have photo, we have personal information, we have summary, education, experience, skills, training, languages, awards, hobbies and interests, and the community service. I tried to get you all of the elements that can be found in a CV. يمكن في ناس are not adding all of these elements, but I tried to get يعني as many elements as we can to discuss all of them. Maybe for some people you can skip some parts, for other people they can skip different parts, but you will never ever find a CV who يعني which has more elements than that. دول كل حاجة that we can find. Let's go for each and every one and talk about each and every element. Okay. And before we start, let me just maybe I can go here. So that is the CV, the traditional CV. يعني ده CV that you can find every day on a desk. بيبقى غالبا شكله كده بيبقى فيه it has a photo. You can find some information at the very top, objective. حد كاتب الكواليفيكيشنز بتاعته الاكاديميك والاكسبيرينس، الفونت العادي البلاك. ف that is normally the shape of a CV. يعني if you are going to see that shape on any desk على طول هيجي في دماغك that must be a CV. هو ده اللي بنشوفه كل يوم. I will tell you بقى let's go deeper into each element and let me tell you at the very end how we can make the shape, much more fashionable, much more modern and updated. Okay, so we have many elements. Let's go for the first one. Okay, which is photo. Okay, and we have a question here. Should I add a photo or not? That's a very classic question. Add or not to add? Again, we have mixed opinions about it. I will tell you the background of why we should include a photo or not. Maybe especially in European countries and in the US, they don't like adding a photo. That's something cultural. In the US and especially in Europe, in the European Union, they don't like adding a photo. Why? Because they care very much about the idea of equality and human rights and discrimination, social discrimination and racism. So they don't really like any kind of subjective factor to be added to the CV. عايزين السي في ده to be presented to the HR person or an employer مجرد انه فيه السكيلز، مجرد انه فيه الكواليفيكيشنز، من غير ما يبقى فيه فوتو ممكن تاثر على الاتش ار بيرسون او تاثر على الامبلوير. Maybe someone who is very fashionable and they can accept him, someone who comes from a special race, it can affect the HR person. White people, dark people, someone who is blonde, someone who is African, someone from the Middle East, someone who is Asian. فبيبقوا مش عايزين أي حاجة فيها personal impression to add to the CV. That's why in Europe they are against the idea of adding the photo to the CV. بس هل ده معناه إن العالم كله ما فيهوش photo to add? No, we have in many countries people who like adding photo. And the idea behind adding the photo, in our culture or in Egypt, people like having photos. Why? For many reasons. Maybe one of the reasons is that they would like to يشوفوا كده الشخص ده شكله ايه، او الشخص اللي هيجيلهم to the interview how he looks like. مش عايزين ان هم يتفاجئوا بيه اول ما يعرفوه. It gives them like a kind of information how you look like so we can invite you for the interview. ما يصدموش في اول مره. And let me tell you why we should add when we should add a photo. First of all, it should be relatively small size. So if you are going to add a photo in your CV, don't add a poster. هنحط واحده كبيره. It should be, I wouldn't say small ما تخليهاش ان هي tiny. يبقى it loses its significance. لا, just make it relatively small. Reasonable size, more towards being small. It should have white background and the passport size. So ما نحطش حاجه فيها colorful background. ما ينفعش في سي في for example ابقى حاطط باك جراوند زي اللي ورايا دي. It's colorful تفتكر ان هي دي something cool او ان انا I'm trying to have a background اللي هي بتبقى في الاستوديوز اللي بيبقى فيها بقى it looks like a castle او سلم او قصر او whatever. No, you can't put all of these backgrounds in a CV. It should be a white background because it's very neutral, it's very basic. ما بتاخدش colors في السي في فبتخلي السايز بتاع الفايل اصغر ف it can be sent easily and it can be uploaded easily. والباسبورت سايز which means the small 4x6 size. Okay. Another thing you consider is to be cheerful and friendly, which is really important. ما احطش صوره وانا فيها مكشر. تبقى مكشر ما تحطش صوره. اللي احسن. So please be cheerful. Maybe you can smile a little bit. Give a friendly impression. زي بالظبط it sounds to me like applying for a visa. Why having a good photo for a visa is something really important. ليه؟ ليه ما ينفعش احط صورتي وانا عامل واقف كده وثابت وستريت I look firm in a visa because someone is scanning the visa. طالما في someone is looking at something يبقى في a degree of subjective opinion. Subjective يعني في part of emotion, في part of impression, personal impression, personal empathy. For example, in the situation of a CV اللي بيسكان ال CV applications لو شاف واحد شكله يعني بالنسبه له هو يعني يخض او not comfortable او he looks suspicious او يعني شكله مش مريح in any way, he gets a feeling that maybe he's trying to يعني exit the country in an illegal way او to break the visa او maybe he's a criminal. فبيجي له negative thoughts. So the idea behind having a good and a cheerful and friendly photo is to communicate a nice, a professional, a positive and warm impression to the HR person or to the employee. حاجات كلها positive يعني. So that's why the photo should be positive. Okay. Another thing is formal and neat. يعني ايه formal and neat؟ يعني in the photo don't try to have the photo okay عملناها white background, عملناها passport size, عملناها relatively small, ضحكت فيها, it's cheerful, it's friendly, بس حطيت في السي في صورتي بالتيشيرت. How does it look like؟ وانا رايح مثلا اقدم في البنك and all people are wearing formal. It's totally inappropriate. So try to be formal. So if you are a gentleman, wear a suit. يعني my point of view, don't just wear a shirt. لا, wear a suit, wear a tie. If you are a lady, wear kind of formal dress. I don't know how ladies wear, يعني to be honest, but try to wear something formal. I guess maybe ladies wear formal blazers and the formal shirts too. So it's a very good idea to have a photo for yourself wearing a white shirt or maybe a very light blue shirt and a dark blazer. Well, that's for gentlemen and for ladies. It's always, يعني you cannot go wrong with black or dark blue blazer and white shirt. ريح نفسك. White shirt, dark blazer, black or dark blue. Don't wear بقى pink blazer, don't wear purple one, don't wear gray. خليه black or dark blue. It's very formal. معلوش mixed opinions. You can never go wrong with it. Okay, and let's go back to the first point, which is to add or not to add. Of course, we are going to add a photo, especially in our culture, we are going to add a photo. Photos are important بالذات امتى؟ يعني هقول لك امتى if you don't like to add وامتى maybe you should add. You should add a photos or you should add photos or a photo if the job requires special appearance. يعني ايه special appearance؟ يعني we have different jobs that require something special related to appearance. For example, flight attendant. يعني مضيف الطيران they need him to be in a special appearance. بيبقوا طالبين طول معين, طالبين عرض معين, طالبين شكل معين, هيئة معينة. So appearance is part of the requirement. الappearance مش حاجة هنا unnecessary. الappearance هنا حاجة part of the fundamental requirements for recruiting. That's why if you go to if you see a post which is related to any of aeroplanes companies or travel companies, maybe one of the requirements is your height. بيبقوا طالبين حد مش اطول من طول معين عشان الطياره مثلا, او عايزين واحد وهو فارد ايدين الاثنين يبقى عرض معين عشان برضه العرض بتاع between seats. So here your appearance is part of the application process. So you should add a photo. And I guess يعني traditionally speaking they always require a photo for you in formal way. حتى لو انت حطيتها في السي في ولا مش حطيتها في السي في, they ask you directly, please send us a personal photo. ايه jobs تانية ممكن يبقى فيها appearance important? Someone is in the travel field, tourism field, someone works as a tour guide. Someone works as a receptionist in a hotel. So again, being a receptionist in a hotel, he or she should have special appearance. Special appearance, that's not my opinion. Special appearance related to the employer. هو الemployer طالب special appearance. We are not here today to discuss that's correct or not. يعني المفروض يبقى في appearance part من ال process of recruiting or not. يعني مش في point of discussion دي دلوقتي. احنا بنقول ان if you are applying for a job اللي من الحاجات اللي الامبلوير expects، يعني سواء طلب او ما طلبش، بس you know كده بعرف ان they expect special appearance, it's better to add a photo meeting the appearance اللي هم عايزينه. Okay, and maybe something else I can add about the photo. يمكن الناس برضه احنا اتكلمنا details كتير related to photos. Don't try to wear lots of accessories. وهنتكلم عن الموضوع ده ان شاء الله tomorrow in interview skills. Don't wear accessories because maybe they are not very professional, especially accessories which give a special meaning. يعني ايه which give a special meaning؟ يعني it should always be neutral in your CV. What's meant by neutral? يعني don't wear a necklace which has a religious icon, whether it's a Muslim icon, whether it's a Christian icon, whether it's a logo for something, something for a company. يعني it's recommended not to wear any accessories that communicate a special affiliation. Affiliation يعني special community or special group, especially if you are applying for an international company. يعني maybe in our local companies that's totally fine. Maybe in an international company it's recommended. Again, it's not my opinion, but the global opinion is that it's recommended to be as neutral as possible. Neutral ان مش باين عليك background معينه. Neutral in you are not يعني wearing a symbol for something as a community or race or religion or color or whatever. And not lots of makeup, very simple makeup, no colors, no lots of accessories, and so on. Okay, so that was all about the photo. Second part, personal information, which is يعني at the very top of the CV. يعني you write your full name and then you add your personal information اللي هي أول حاجة كده the entry for the CV. We have three types of information. We have personal information, we have vital information, and we have contact information. Let's see what are the differences between those and what should be included and why. ايه برضه logic and rationale behind them. First one, personal information. They are the full name. طبعا you need to write your full name. Full name يعني full name، يعني ما تكتبش مثلا احمد علي، اكتب احمد علي محمد محمود. The full passport name. Write your address, your complete address with the city and the country. دايما let's consider as if you are applying for any job, whether in Egypt or abroad. So يعني let's have that kind of global perspective. لو انت if you do not include your city and the country and you are applying for a job in Gulf countries or in Saudi Arabia or in the UK or USA, they don't know where you are coming from. So please add a city and your country. Of course, you should add your birth date and your marital status. طب في حد هنا يسألني برضو في حاجات عليها mixed opinions. ليه لازم احط البيرث ديت؟ وليه لازم احط الماريتال ستاتس؟ يعني you can find the people telling you don't add your birth date or marital status because employers are not interested in that kind of information. تاني على حسب and it depends related to the job. يعني if تاني نرجع تاني if you are applying for something which has night shifts and the part of the requirement and maybe even in the interview or in the post they are advertising or they need directly single people because maybe they are going to be there for night shifts وهم from their experience as employers they understand that people who are married are not very much convenient or suitable or matching to that job. يعني they create troubles, they are not professional enough, they are late frequently. فهم يريحوا دماغهم and they are targeting the single people. فلازم هنا احط الماريتال ستاتس ان انا if I'm trying to write if I'm single and you're writing single you are giving them the green light اللي هو I am already meeting the requirement that you asked for or the requirement that you are expecting. طب البيرث date again في different jobs that require an age limit. يعني maybe for example I'm trying to think of an example. Maybe they need someone who works in security. مثلا again let's try to think of many jobs not just the areas that we are in like engineering or business or whatever. Maybe someone would like to work as a security guard. A security guard that maybe the company or the bank they need someone who looks old enough. They need someone who is 45 years old. They are not going to recruit someone who's 20 حتى لو عنده كل السكيلز. Even if he is super professional, super strong. They need special appearance. They need someone who looks old. حد كده عليه هيبة. Looks like a security guard. So you should here write your birth date. عشان again you are giving them the green light that you are meeting the requirement they are expecting. Vital information يعني حاجات مهمة حاجات you should include for administrative purposes اللي هي national ID, passport number if you have a passport and the military status. تاني what is the logic behind them? Are they necessary or not? They are necessary. ليه؟ لأن في different employers they will not invite you for an interview without checking your criminal record. يعني ايه criminal record؟ يعني في شو تشبيه مثلا او يسالوا عليك in different sectors in related to the government. هل انت عليك سوابق؟ هل you did something wrong? You quit from a job without a notice. نتكلم في الحاجات دي maybe tomorrow in the interview skills. هربان من حاجه you broke a visa something like that. So it's really important to add your national ID because they might use it in for some special purposes. Passport number, and we are talking here about if you are going to apply for a job abroad. So maybe it helps them to ask more about you in the embassy, نفس logistics, and to issue for you the visa. Third one is the military status. Why military status? Because it's something official in our country. It's something related to the law, something legal. Of course, any full-time job requires someone who's exempted from military status. يعني لو ما خلصتش جيشك 99.9% you will not be able to work. Why? مش عشان هم زعلانين منك, but because the legal documents that should be there leak في الكومباني, one document منها is your military completion مش موجودة, they cannot legally hire you. They put themselves in trouble. And of course, companies will not put themselves in trouble for an applicant, to be honest. Contact information, which is extremely important. Because if I write all of my skills, all of my qualifications, and the employer cannot really reach me, يبقى أنا ما عملتش حاجة. يعني it should include all of the communication channels to be able to reach you. But you should include a landline and the mobile phone numbers, طبعا your personal mobile phone number, and you can add maybe 2 numbers if you are using 2 numbers. So don't worry, add them. Personal email, and we mentioned last week that a personal email should be formal. Try to write a very professional and formal email in your CV. Write something like muhammad.ahmed@gmail.com. ما نكتبش lovely girl 96 ميدو حماده _ حموده. Don't try to write all of these emails because they give an impression that you are not professional and that you are novice. Novice يعني مستجد. يعني you didn't try working in a professional place before. باين عليك ان انت لسه جديد اول مره تكتب سي في. So try to write a formal email. Postal code ده which is like the serial number for your neighborhood, and the professional links. And we are going to talk more about professional links at the end of the day. Professional links like your Skype link, your Zoom account ID, and your LinkedIn link. هنعرف ليه we should add those links and what are their benefits. Next part is summary. Summary, first of all, some people include summaries in their CV, or some people don't add. يعني, for example, my personal CV doesn't have a summary. I used to write a summary before and now I removed. هقول لكم ليه. وهنيجي لحته اللينس بتاعت السي في. How to manage the length. In general, what is the purpose of a summary and how I should write summary? First thing, how we should write summary, it should be brief and to the point. يعني ايه brief and to the point؟ يعني ده summary ملخص. هكتب فيه بالظبط 2 or 3 points, bullet points. Bullet points يعني points كده. Or it can be a very small and mini paragraph, but too condensed, too concentrated. في ايه؟ في الاوبجكتيفز بتاعتي. انا عايز اعمل ايه؟ ايه هدفي في الحياه؟ ايه هدفي في الكارير؟ Where I'm heading؟ رايح على فين؟ يعني if you are an engineer, what would you like to achieve in the field of engineering? If you work in the field of banking, عايز في الاخر تروح فين؟ What is your end point? What's your dream point? If you work in tourism, what would you like to get? What's your ultimate goal? That's why a summary is really important, because it gives a summary فعلا هو من اسمه, it gives a summary for the HR person. يعني it tells him من الاخر كده انت ناوي تروح فين؟ اتجاهك. What's your approach? Where you are heading to? It should be brief. It should be to the point. يعني مش بنكتب قصة حياتنا. مش بنكتب long sentences كأني بكتب essay. No. Very specific. كل keyword should count. يعني every word that you add to the summary, it should carry lots of meaning. You should have very clear objectives. يعني ايه clear objectives؟ يعني don't be too dreamy. يعني if you work in the field of banking and you are trying to apply to work at a bank ولسه جديد, don't try to say I would like to be the CEO of the central bank مثلا. يعني it looks funny, it reads funny, and it reads funny because it's unrealistic. يعني it's too dreamy for you. في فرق بين being ambitious و being realistic, being dreamy. Being ambitious يعني to have some goals, to have some dreams. They are realistic. I have a plan. I have an agenda. I know how to approach and يعني prove myself towards those plans, how to achieve them. Being dreamy يعني you are in the la la land. يعني you are saying that I would like to be the CEO of the bank. I would like to be the Minister of Education. I would like to be to be the manager of the biggest engineering company in the world. I would like to be the CEO of Schlumberger or Halliburton. So very dreamy stuff. So try to be realistic, make it systematic, make it achievable. Achievable, which means in the objective for the reader, it's a goal that can be achieved. It's a goal إن إحنا لو سألناه عليه in the interview and he gives us a realistic plan, we will be able as HR people to know that he is going to achieve those points. Preferably customized to the job. يعني إيه؟ يعني let's say for example you work again in the field of pharmacy. Let's talk about another major. And In the pharmacy, you have lots of subcategories or subfields. Maybe you can have industrial pharmacy, you have pharmaceuticals, you have drug chemistry, organic medicine, natural products, cosmetics, الحاجات اللي ليها علاقة بالميك اب and stuff and its relation to pharmacy and materials, customer service, pharmacy management. So we have different sectors تحت the bigger umbrella of pharmacy. بس انت you are applying for a certain job. Let's say you are applying for customer service in a pharmacy. Customer service in a pharmacy. And it's your entry level to the pharmacy. يعني you would like to join the pharmacy field from square one اللي هو from the basic, just to enter the field. So maybe they can ask you to be a customer service or to be a salesperson, helping people to choose suitable products in a pharmacy. Hello, okay, great. You are going to go there. طب how I'm going to tailor and customize my summary towards the job to make it suitable to the role, to the position I'm applying for. فما اكتبش summary. Don't write the summary that you are an expert in organic chemistry and you are super specialist in let's say chemical combinations and experiments and how to manufacture a certain drug. ليه؟ That's all great, but it's not suitable. It's off point. It's irrelevant. Why it's irrelevant? Because you are going to be a salesperson in the pharmacy. A salesperson does not require being a specialist in organic chemistry, does not require being familiar with complicated experiments. أمال إيه؟ How can I tailor and how can I channel my summary to the job of being a salesperson in a pharmacy, for example, is to say that I'm familiar with the basic materials used in drugs. I'm very much familiar with side effects that can happen from different drugs. I can assess or evaluate how patients are reacting to different materials and the substances, so I can give them the proper advice. I can give them a suitable recommendation on which product to choose, which product seems to be more matching to them. فكده يبقى you are writing your summary towards the job, towards the role. So when the HR person reads your summary and reads that you have a pharmacy background and you are using your pharmacy background towards the role of helping people as a salesperson in a pharmacy, you are the greatest match for the job. يعني that's bingo. So you always try to customize it to the role. Another thing that we should consider, of course, certainly, you should write it in correct language. Any kind of mistake or typo in your CV is going to, unfortunately, is going to leave a nasty impression for the HR person or employer. And if you are writing a typo in, let's say, if you are going to write a typo with any of the contact information, يعني you are going to be too unlucky. Why? Because they will not be able to reach you. يعني لو انت كتبت ايميل غلط واتسرعت, they will not be able to send you back. So that's really something unforgettable. And using correct language here, just to show that you are professional, you can revise your CV well, you are careful, you spent some time on writing the CV in a professional way, you give it some care. So just be careful not to leave any typo, because if you leave any typo, it means you did not revise your CV, you did not give it enough care, you are uncareful. So please be careful with your language. The next one is education. And let's see. So you should always write it from the latest to the earliest. أنا بجيب من الآخر للأول أو from the new to the old. Why? Because logically speaking around the world and for everyone, your recent job or your latest job, you have a bigger role and a higher role than your previous one. يعني logically speaking الواحد بيطلع مش بينزل. فانت you need to show them اول حاجه يقروها في education هي اخر ديجري انت واخدها. مش هتكتب انا واخد ابتدائيه او I'm a graduate of a school. You're going to write that I have a BA degree or BSc degree, a bachelor's degree. Because having a bachelor's degree, logically speaking, and without much details, it means that you graduated from school. So you always try to write the least qualification or achievement you got in that band. So just in case, يعني, as an example, you did your PhD. مش هتبتدي education ببي اي، ابتديها ببي اتش دي. فخلاص انا as an HR person, once I see that you have a PhD, most probably I will not keep reading what's your MA about and what's your BA about. لان خلاص you reached the ultimate goal. طب if you did MA, right? I did MA, which means خلاص يعني the employer doesn't really need to look for what you graduated from and your BA because the MA will be in the same field and on a higher level. So you always start from the latest to the earliest. Full information, which means add full information about where you got that degree or qualification. And you don't just write examples like I have BSc in engineering. From where? What is the university? What's your department? What's your major? What's your project? So some vital information here need to be added. Because again, especially if we're talking about technical fields, employers need to know what kind of training and what kind of specialization and subfield you are specialized in and you are interested in. Especially في الحاجات اللي فيها subcategories كتير. يعني let's say someone who is an engineer. An engineer ده فيه branches كتيرة، فيه departments كتيرة. What kind of engineer? Communication. What kind of communication? في networks، في cell phones، في radio waves and the frequencies. في حاجات، في branches. So always try to be specific in order to look more appealing to HR people into the job. Mention your grades or GPA if they are high. يعني if you got starting from good or above or very good or excellent, mention your GPA. If you got only pass, it's better not to mention. يعني we are always trying to look on what is the best way to present yourself. So if you got high GPA, present it. It gives a very positive meaning or message to people. If it's not very high, don't mention خلاص, and they will not ask you about it. Even in the interview, يعني once you are a graduate, you are a graduate. خلاص, no, maybe they will not ask about it. So you are going to be skipping a trouble which is unnecessary. مش لازم ان انت if it's low you edit so they think that it's not very good or they ask questions about it and you put yourself in trouble. Keep yourself يعني that hassle. Next one is, and the most important one actually, experience. هو دي اللي فيها, that is the core of the CV. So again, from latest to earliest. يعني if you began your career by being a team member, then a senior team member, then a team leader, then a project manager. When you can't write it in the CV, مش هبتدي بteam member. And I don't need to waste the time of the HR person to keep reading all of that. Maybe he will skip. Maybe he's feeling uncomfortable. Maybe عنده tens of CVs or applications he need to scan. Maybe he feels bored. So skip the hassle. حط from the latest. So first thing I'm going to add is project manager. So if I'm applying for a high job or a high post and he sees project manager, خلاص, it means logically that you were able to do all of the responsibilities بتاعت البوستس الأقل. So you always start with the latest one. Include role responsibilities. يعني if you were responsible about a project or let's say a technical post and you were in charge of special things, mention them that the bullet points. In bullet points, you can mention managing a team of 50 people. ده معناه it communicates the message that you are a team leader, that you can lead a strong team and a big team. You can write being able to manage the logistics of blah blah blah. It means you can coordinate between different sectors. So try to yes.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Sure, no
We have
problem.
we have two questions on the chat
Sure,
box. The first one, do I have to write the year that I will graduate in?
sure, for sure. طبعا يعني يعني absolutely you should mention the graduation year. The graduation year because automatically it will translate to the HR person على how long you have been working أو يعني maybe how long you are experienced. So for example, if you are a graduate of if you graduated in 2000 غير 2010 غير 2018. So it gives a totally different meaning. And when you see that someone graduated in 2000, ايه ده 20 years experience كان من غير ما اقرا حاجه. So it's very clear. So you should add the graduation year.
Okay, the second one, what if there is no experience? How would we mention it?
Okay, هنيجي الحته دي طبعا because it's يعني very important to fresh graduates because you don't have experience and you don't know what to do. السي في فاضي ومش عارف اكمل صفحه على بعضيها. What we should do, I will tell you what you can do right now. When we come to the skills part and how we can emphasize our skills. So again, let's go back here. So try to include your role responsibilities. Include dates if longer than a year. يعني if you stayed in corporate or in a company or in a position for more than a year, طبعا you should mention when you started that job and when you ended your contract. يعني maybe I stayed in that company from 2018 to 2019. Okay. Or from 2018 dash present, which means I'm still there. وطبعا دي هتبقى latest one. اكيد اللي فيها present دي اخر واحده لان you are still فيها. وطبعا even if you quit your job, you will not write the end of it, and I will tell you يعني more about it tomorrow in the interview skills and how you can mention things about your previous job. If they are shorter than a year, don't mention. You don't mention because maybe it gives a negative impression to your next employer or to the HR people. يعني maybe it means you didn't stay for a long time, you were a troublemaker, created a problem, they terminated you, you weren't able to do the job. So maybe less than a year, it means that you يعني it's either you quit or you were fired. ملهاش third explanation. You quit معناها ان there was an issue. You were fired معناها برضه there was an issue. So don't state it if it's shorter than a year. Maybe you can say مثلا ايه يعني لو if you were in 2-3 jobs over a year يعني قعدت في كل واحده 2-3 months حاجه كانت صغيره مكان رحته مشيت من ده رحت ده. You can write for example from 2018 to 2019 working in the fields of blah blah blah. So it looks more presentable, it looks more professional. إنما during that year I had an experience in those sectors, in those areas, in those different backgrounds. It looks more professional in a better way. Next one is include projects if available. يعني if you had a project either at work or during your education, please mention it. يعني if you are studying something which has a graduation project, طبعا mention the graduation project because it gives a meaning to the company that you are applying for. Let's say you had your graduation project on something related to petroleum engineering. So mention that I had that kind of research or expertise, which is experience in that particular field. So it looks more presentable, very accurate to the employer, rather than ان انت تسيبها له broad and very general. When it comes to experience and work, let's say you worked in a special place and you were able to handle a project. يعني you were in charge of an operation او a project او a team or whatever. Mention ان احنا I was able to launch project blah 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 which was about كذا. Full stop. طبعا ما تحكيش قصة حياتك. Don't keep writing an essay on the project. they will ask you in the interview. But you just state it. يعني make it catchy to let them curious to ask you about it and to ask about your experience in that field. And they get to know that you have some kind of knowledge about that. So keep it in that way. Next one, which is really important, and we're going to tackle if you are a fresh graduate, what to do and how to maximize it, which is skills. Skills دي how they are different from education and experience. Or skills, are they different from experience? They are totally different. They are not even similar. How? Let me show you. You always focus on, that's a really important trick, a very tricky part. What you can do, not what you have. يعني ايه؟ Here's why. يعني maybe I studied something and I have a certificate in that field. المفروض يعني ان انا ابقى عارفه. بس maybe I can't do. يعني I have a friend who studied pharmacy at FUE, a very close friend, and he works as an English teacher. So he studied pharmacy, but he is not able to work in the field of pharmacy. He hates maybe chemistry, he is not comfortable in the field. So not everything that you have, you can do. So always focus on what you can do. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe I can do something, but I don't have a certificate. يعني maybe I can write, let's say, write short descriptions of something. I'll write novels. I'll write stories. I'll write a review on films and review on magazines. But I did not study drama. I did not study films. I did not study mass comm. But I have that skill. Okay, write it because you can do it. And of course, you will demonstrate in the interview how you have that skill, how you can do that skill. So always focus on what you can do, not just what you have. They can be professional or life skills. What I mean first by professional or life skills, they can be skills related to work, and things that you can do technical related to work or related to field, or they can be life skills in general. Life skills يعني in the form of hobbies, and we'll talk about hobbies now. And why hobbies can change your CV and they can give a totally new impression to the employer. So they can be professional or they can be life skills. Let's say, for example, any life skills. يعني let's say I studied English and I can fix mobile phones. And I love technology and I can fix mobile phones, I can fix broken screens, I can fix motherboards and the broken cameras. مثلا يعني. So that's a skill, that's something valuable. Maybe it's not valuable for some people, but it's valuable for others. دايما keep that into consideration. يعني don't say هو الموضوع ده ملوش علاقة. لا, you can put it in relation to a special job, or if you are applying for a special job, and it has its own value. So it can be valuable to some person, but you just need to target it يعني in the correct way. You can skills can be certified or not. Again, you learned uh, maybe you learned how to play the guitar, okay, and you have got a certificate. Okay, nice. But if I don't have a certificate, if it's my hobby and I can play the guitar, maybe وانا بقدم مرة as an English teacher and they need someone to help with a musical performance, a play, a show in the school, maybe they can tell me, please join. You are a teacher, you can teach, you can play the guitar, so you can help in the show. So it can open doors. هو ده اللي انا بقول عليه. ده مش معناه ان احنا we are going to work in a field which is not related to our background. او someone who is واحد اللي هو like that example of مدرس فرنساوي عقبال ما يجيبوا مدرس رياضه. No, it's not this way, but I mean it can open doors, it can give you some opportunities in different contexts. And now let's have a quick game. Okay, so let me share my screen and give you the gameplay. So please go to your mobile phone and check your browser. And okay, so that is the game pin. So please type that game pin in kahoot.it 60 30 55 1.
Guys,
Okay,
now the time for the game. Please join our game using this link and this code, please.
Ahmed, would you please tell me when you are ready?
Yes, yes, sure, Dr. Mustafa. شباب تقدروا تدخلوا الجيم عن طريق اللينك اللي قدامكم والكود ده، تستخدموا الكود ده. هننتظر دقيقتين إن شاء الله ودكتور مصطفى يبدأ إن شاء الله. Dr. Mustafa, we can start right now.
You can start. All right. Okay. Let's see. Your CV says everything about you. Okay. Of course, it's false because it just says not few things, but the basic requirements. The basic requirements that you need to apply for a job. So it just gives like an introduction about you, but not everything. You're going to explain more in the interview, and you're going to explain more if they ask you for special things. A CV is recommended to be okay, 2 pages long. This is a gold standard. It isn't good to add a photo at all. For sure, you don't want to add a photo like this one. Okay, false. It's not at all. You can add a photo, but it depends on what kind of job or what kind of role you are targeting. A good summary is, for sure, brief and clear. Experience should be written from latest to earliest. Sure, true. It should be written from latest to earliest. My skills can either be certified or not. Okay, for sure, true. Your skills can be certified, which means if you have certificates related to those skills, that can be okay. If you don't have certificates, still you can add those skills in CV. And let's see the results. Bravo, guys. Well done. Okay. And let's go back. And right. Okay, so the next one is, uh, let's see. Okay. Training and how training can be included in your CV and what types of training are available. So first one is the university training. Maybe if your university try to let you join a special training, or even what I mean by if you have any training in a student model activity. So if you are in activity, in a student activity, and you attended a session about something, you were provided with a training, you got some added value, add them, because that's something nice. That's kind of input. So if you had some new input, say it. Tell them that I have got that kind of training on something. It can be internship, which means that's maybe something a little bit higher than university training. So it's a kind of a partnership between your university and special companies or special uh, uh, places which require fresh graduates and students to get some hands-on experience. So for sure you can add your internship training. For example, I attended 2 months training at special bank. I attended 2 months training on a project in the desert related to engineering. I attended 1 month of training on pharmaceutical stuff in an esteemed pharmacy, and so on. Next one is professional training. Professional training, again, that's higher. So you are not a student, you are not a fresh graduate, you are already working and you are receiving training in your job. So let's say you quit your previous job or you left your previous company for any reason, and you have got kind of training in that company. For sure, say it. It's really good to mention what kind of new capabilities and the potentials you have added yourself. Hands-on training. So if you have got a hands-on, which means realistic, you tried something with your hands. You went to a workshop, went to a factory, you have got training on something related to industries, manufacturing, machines, devices. You should add that. And for sure, online training. So many people think that online training is not accredited or يعني fun, Mickey Mouse training. No, if you have got online training and it comes from a reputable website, something like Coursera, something like Udemy, and all of these, I guess nowadays Coursera is very famous. So if you have got any kind of free training on it or paid training, and you have got a certificate and you have got evidence that you attended that training, for sure you can add it. Again, it's an added value. It's not only about documents, it's not about the paper, it's not about the piece of carton, it's about what kind of skills you can demonstrate. And languages. What should I do when it comes to languages? So, rule number one, mention your native language. Many people think that they shouldn't mention their native language because يعني, we are in Egypt. So what is the benefit of writing Arabic native language? احنا كلنا بنتكلم عربي. That's not something new. But again, think on a global scale. Maybe you are traveling and you would like to work as a tour guide in Europe. Okay, so actually your point of strength will not be English or will not be French or will not be Spanish because you are already in Europe. They can speak those languages. But your point of strength is that you can speak Arabic. Maybe if they have tourists who come from the Middle East or they come from Arabic countries, you can deal with them. So you will be the perfect match. ان هم مثلا in a travel agency in Europe يحطوك as a tour guide مع a group of tourists who are coming from the Middle East because of your native language, because you can speak Arabic. Or let's say, let me try to give you another example. Let's say you are trying to travel to USA to work in computer programming and web developing. and they would like to work on translating games or instructions زي في المانيوال كده or catalogs in Arabic language. مين اللي بيعرف يتكلم عربي؟ It's you. So they will pick you. So maybe a point you don't think it's strong at a special place can be really strong in another place. So be careful on that and always think on a global scale. Mention different commands. So for sure you can't speak all languages fluently. So always try to mention to what extent you can use that language. And my next comment here is related, is that you can mention that by mentioning international test scores. If you had any kind of international language tests, you can mention the score. And that will actually be much of stronger evidence and the proof that you can use that language on that level. And something like the IELTS in English and TOEFL, TOEIC, it's related to business English, PTE, again related to English, and I guess OET is very famous nowadays, and maybe I know that in future universities, they are running that test. And it's an English test, which is especially designed for people who come from medical backgrounds, like pharmacy, like dentistry, like nursing, physiotherapy, medicine. So that can be something, again, that emphasizes your language skills, that you can use English, particularly in that context, particularly in that profession, makes you much more stronger. And always be honest. Always be honest. Please don't mention something that you can't do. Because maybe you can say, I am upper intermediate in French. And when you go to the interview, you discover that the interviewer can speak French. And she was in French school. So if she is going to test your French, you will be in a very sticky situation if you can speak in French. So always, always be honest. Don't put yourself in such embarrassing situations. Next one is awards. And what's meant by awards? Certificates of recognition. Maybe you were the best student or the #1 student among a special activity, a university project, your class, a special competition. So all of that, again, delivers or communicates a meaning to the employers that you are competitive, that you would like to prove yourself, that you are successful, that you are seeking to be a better person. All of these are positive elements that can be added. Certificates of appreciation from a student model, from company, from the university, different institutions, achievements, any types of achievements, competition, challenge, prizes, even medals or cups. So even if you play a sport and you got a medal or you got a cup related to football or related to volleyball or related to swimming, would that be related to working as a businessman? Yes. If you can mention it, yes, it's something about sport, and that particular sport is not related to your job or your role to be a project manager, but it tells something about your personality. It tells us that you are, again, you are competitive. You would like to be successful. You are ambitious person. You are active. You are healthy. So again, all of these positive points will add to your CV. And hobbies and interests. Should I include them? For sure, you should include them. And let me tell you why and the rationale, the logic behind them. You can mention artistic hobbies like drawing, music or playing music, dancing, photography, origami, which is a Japanese art of using paper. You can add mathematical things like calculation or Sudoku. Linguistic, it can be knowing lots of languages or translation. computing, can be like web developing or graphics and animation. Craftsmanship, which means things that you can do with your hands, manual skills. So it can be designing or accessories, jewelry, sports. It can be boxing, bodybuilding, diving, and other hobbies and interests can be like fishing or chess. And now let's go to the fun part or the tricky part behind your hobbies. For example, let's say you are trying to apply as a bank teller, someone who works at the bank. And what do you think? What kind of message will be delivered to the employer if I'm writing that my interest is playing Sudoku? What kind of message? What does it say about me? Of course, what it delivers is that I'm comfortable with calculation. I like numbers. So imagine the employer is hiring someone who is literally playing with numbers. The numbers are his game, something favorable, something that he enjoys working with and thinking about and calculating. So here it focuses on your skills. It emphasizes your skills. It tells to the employer that you will do your job easily, like a piece of cake. Let me give you another example. Let's say you are applying for to be a bodyguard, okay, or a security guard, and you are saying that my hobby and interest is that going to the gym, bodybuilding, and boxing. Again, what message is being delivered is that you can fight, you can defend yourself, you are strong, you are healthy, you are active. So all of these hidden meanings in the hobbies are actually making your skills stronger, are making your application stronger towards that specific job. Let's say you are a PE teacher, physical education teacher, and you would like to work in a school. And let's say you went to a club or you went to Sharm el Sheikh and you tell them one of my hobbies is that I can go diving. I have certificates in going to diving and I'm an expert at diving. I can dive. What message is being delivered is that you can rescue people in a hotel, you can rescue tourists, you can rescue children in the school if they drown, and so on. So think of what hobbies can emphasize your skills, what hobbies can make your situation stronger. And maybe fishing shows that you are patient. Chess shows that you are intelligent. You are that kind of person who analyzes, who thinks carefully, who is a decision maker, who has a strategy. So lots of hidden meanings are there in the hobbies and skills you mentioned. And yeah, last one here is community service. And let's see, maybe on the international scale or abroad or in Europe, again, they care very, very much about community service and what kind of charitable services you have offered to your society. Maybe in Egypt, we don't care very much about that. But if you would like to work in an international company, or if you would like to work abroad, this one is bingo. This one is going to be a golden card. Let me show you how. It shows that you are a volunteer. So you have that spirit of volunteerism. You would like to help people. You would like to support others. You are cooperative. You are helpful. You are not selfish. Again, lots of hidden meanings are in the word or in the concept. Supporting social or local or global cause. So maybe if you are volunteering in a charity which cares about the environment, It means you care about the environment. You would like to save the environment. You care about nature. You care about not cutting down trees for people. You care about saving water. Again, lots of international concepts about saving the environment and supporting a global cause and an international cause. It can be social or local. So maybe you are trying to help poor people in a special area or in a special neighborhood. So in this way, you will be like supporting others, giving them help, making them stronger in the context or in the setting, and so on. It shows that it's not all about money. So you don't just work for money. And okay, so you don't just work for money. It's also about that you would like to work hard, would like to help people, would like to equip them with more skills, and so on. And next one, yeah, let me click. Willing to explore new areas. So if you go and you try to work with different charities or different institutions that work with the society, it means you would like to explore new areas, discover new things, get to know new skills, get to know new people, and so on. Able to lead or work in a team, because if you are volunteering in a special charity, it means you work in a team. So maybe first step is working in a team. And what comes next is that you can be leading a team. So it means that you have some team building skills. You can deal with people from different backgrounds, coordinate well, be friendly, solve problems, and so on. All of these are integrated skills in relation to the community service. Working as in community service can be working with a charity, or it can be working with hospitals or institutions that help people in general. And charity is not just giving people money. Charity can be giving people money, can be giving them food, can be training them, teaching them to do something, equipping them with special equipment or tools, teaching them new skills. So all of these are full of skills that can deliver great and excellent meaning to the employers about your personality and about what you can do. And yeah, let me show you now how we can put all of that stuff in a kind of modern, updated look of a CV. Let's have a look at how CVs look in 2020. So they look this way. And sometimes they call it a smart CV or ECV, which is, it looks very electronic. It looks like a Facebook account. It looks like something digital. So it doesn't have the traditional look of the first one, which is writing and maybe the classic rectangles and the classic squares and very classic font. It's still formal. So we're not we're not having drastic changes. يعني ما خليناش الفونت ريد، ما خليناش الفونت فانسي فونت او فرنش فونت، ما عملناش كليب ارت، ما حطيناش انيميشن. It's still formal بس it looks elite, it looks smart formal يعني. Not very traditional, smart. That you can find here we are having some icons. The small icons دي it makes it very easy to the employer to take a look at the different sections that you are having. عندنا هنا في الدارك بارت الديتس. So it's very easy to see the dates and to recognize them. عندنا logos لكل بارت. Again it's very easy. عندنا هنا كأنها meter of your skills. Are they excellent or very good or fair or poor? The color is dark blue. The font is nice and friendly. تحت كل واحدة في objectives. As I told you, try to write down your responsibilities. So you can see here, let me try to zoom in and show you what I mean. So you will find here a summary. IT professional with over 10 years of experience specializing in IT department management. 10 years specializing in IT department management. I can implement effective IT strategies. So he's trying to narrow down. He's trying to give his competitive edge. Experience. So I can see here senior project manager, and you can see senior project manager get a junior project manager. So as I told you, you start with the latest and then what's earlier. لان لو انا قريت جونيور بروجكت مانجر الاول maybe I will not keep reading، بس since ان هو senior project management اكيد عدى على اللي قبل كده. And he is writing here very clear to the point objectives, our responsibilities, oversaw all major hospital IT projects, responsible for creating, improving, and developing IT project strategies, reduced the costs. So here he is highlighting his achievements, what he did, what he was able to execute. That is the point, not just mentioning the title and experience senior project manager. Senior project manager, it's a folder. It's a portfolio. Portfolio ده فيه ايه؟ I was able to do blah blah blah. And as you can see here, the objectives are clear, straightforward, short. It's not a story. The skills, he's mentioning the skills, and he's giving here a meter. He's writing down the certificates. He's writing down the dates. And let's go to the very top. Phone number, email, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And I will show you that. I will talk about that later on how to include the professional links. Okay, and let's move on. Of course, you will find all of the templates on the internet. So there is no special source to get the certificates or to get the template of the CVs. You just need to Google as much as you can, find what's suitable, use what's formal. You can ask someone or consult someone who has an experience in CV writing and who can edit whatever you write. So it's all experimental. Just pick and choose. You're going to have millions of templates on the internet. Next is tips and tricks. Maybe few tricks I need to remind you of. On that, mention your personal geniuses. If you have a talent, if you have something extraordinary, special skill, something like you believe that it's a kind of your personal superpower, mention it in a way, and mention it in the interview, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. Make a strategic use of bold and italics. So as you have seen in the CV, some titles you can write them in bold, some words can be in italics. So make a strategic use. مش كله bold ومش كله italics. لا, what you really need to highlight on. let's go back just very quickly to show you how. فاكرين هنا؟ Let me zoom in. شايفين؟ He is highlighting 3 words in summary. 10 years, IT department management, IT strategies. So even if I am an HR person who doesn't have much time وما عنديش حتى وقت اقرا summary اللي هو اصلا very short, I will be able to read those 3 words. Very easy for me to detect. He has 10 years in IT department, especially in strategies. So that is the strategic use of bold and italics. And okay, let's go back again. Remove errors and send in PDF. What do I mean by remove errors? If you write it, of course, on a Word document, you're going to have maybe under some words the red zigzag line because maybe of a company's name, or it's not a mistake, but it's a company's name. The computer detects it as a mistake. So you have like a red zigzag line. So if you send your CV in Microsoft Word document, the employer will get it with those zigzag lines, which doesn't look very professional. Maybe he thinks it's a typo. Maybe he thinks you were not able to write the company's name in a correct way. So always try to remove the errors and convert your Microsoft Word document CV to a PDF one. A PDF بيبقى مقفول. It doesn't show any kind of red underlining under the words. It is a professional format to send files. So even people send any documents in PDF. It's again, and you can zoom in and out. You can be printed easily. So the resolution, you will not lose any resolution on the PDF. And you can tailor your CV to the role. So always tailor your CV. Always, as I told you in the summary, always try to mention what is suitable to the job. So maybe if you have lots of hobbies and interests and you would like to be a banker, maybe you can mention that one of your skills is playing Sudoku. If you would like to be a project manager, maybe you can say that I can play chess because it means that you are a decision maker. If you would like to work as a salesperson, you can say I like having conversations or chatting with foreigners and new people. So it means that you are talkative and you are sociable and you can build new relationships. So always include in the CV, compose your CV on what suits the role you're applying to. Always make them matching. And some useful websites. So you can check wazzaf.net, which is a very famous website for finding jobs and uploading your CV and keying in your information for employers. You can check baiti.com, again, the Middle East #1 job site, extremely famous. And something extremely important, maybe the best one, is LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is a professional website. It's owned by Microsoft. And let's say it's the professional Facebook. It looks like Facebook. You create an account, you add a photo, you add information about you, but not to like and share some comics and add a video and say happy birthday to friends. No, that's not the purpose. It looks like Facebook, but it serves a different purpose. It's just for communicating with colleagues, getting to know HR people in different companies, uploading your CV, people writing uh, recommendations about you to different companies. So maybe if someone knows you well and he worked with you before and he knows that you are a great person, he can write like a review on you that this person is great and he has excellent skills. So when other employers check your account, they see what people wrote about you. And let me show you quickly the 3 websites, but just after a game, second game. So let's have a second game. And let me share the pin.
Dr. Mustafa, we have some questions.
Sure, okay,
Can
please.
we answer them before the game?
Okay, let's go on.
The first one is participating in student activities considered as experience, or it should be
Sure,
work job?
no, sure, it's an experience. Sure, it's a kind of skills. So mention that I was in that student activity model and I was able to manage operations related to blah, blah, blah. I was able to coordinate with the team and let them work on that project. I was able to send emails and coordinate with different institutions. All of these are skills. If you can coordinate, you are a great person who can coordinate. If you were in a charge of a project, you can overlook a team. If you were able to lead a team, it means you are a team leader and you have some leadership skills. So always try to implement all of these university skills or student activity skills, add them in your CV, add them under skills, add them under experience. You have an experience working in that part. Working مش لازم يبقى بفلوس. Working is not a job ان انا باخد عليه salary. No, working it means I worked with you. I was one of the team. I participated. I contributed. So let's change our mindset about the definition of work.
Okay, the second one, if I know the greetings only in any language, can I mention it? And which level I can write in this case?
Just as the greetings?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe just as the greetings is not a level, to be honest. يعني if you know the greetings in, I don't know, Spanish مثلا or Latin or whatever, no, that's not even beginner. Beginner is someone who can, يعني being in the field of language, I can tell you that a beginner is someone who can mention the greetings, can talk about himself for simple phrases, can say something short about his job, can talk about his family, and they can talk about what his hobbies and what he loves. Like in English, you can say, "My name is Ahmed. I have 3 members in my family. I love playing computer games. I love my brother, and my favorite color is green. My favorite animal is a lion." So that kind of language is beginner. What's below that is not a level. So you cannot consider mentioning greetings as a level.
Okay, the next one, our certificates must be accredited.
Well, again, maybe in modern life, you don't just focus. Of course, if they are accredited, it gives you more weight. يعني هنروح من ده فين؟ It's realistic. يعني if you get a certificate from a reputable institution, for sure it gives meaning and it gives weight to your certificate, and it tells that your skills are proven and are tested. But if they are not accredited, no problem. If you are sure that you have those skills, demonstrate them in the interview. Show that you have those skills. حتى لو certificate is a Mickey Mouse certificate, no problem. بس يعني maybe I'll tell you something. I myself, I don't have a certificate in ICDL, which is a computer certificate. Does it mean that I cannot use the computer? I can use the computer very well. أنا مش معايا certificate تثبت إن أنا I use the computer. But I guess all of you can use Microsoft Word and PowerPoint, and you can browse, and you can type, and you can send emails. But يعني do we have, all of us, do we have a formal certificate that proves that we can use computers and we can use laptops? No. They are skills that you can do. So you can seize the opportunity and use that chance to demonstrate skills and highlight them more, especially if you know that they are in the gray area of certificates are not very powerful, institutions are not very famous, and you can focus on them, give them more weight.
Okay, the next one, what about short courses?
Short courses?
Uh-huh. I think you mean experience.
Well,
Do you
any kind of course is an experience. نحطها في skills. Let's say you attended a course on tell you something. You attended a course on creating a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, no problem. It says that I can create excellent and professional PowerPoint presentations, which can deliver a clear meaning, straightforward and to the point. بس خلاص. Even if the course that was for a couple of hours on how to use PowerPoint, يعني as long as you are not lying, as long as you know that you can use PowerPoint فعلا مش كلامه خلاص, right?
The next one, one of my skills is my hobby. Can I mention both of them in the skills and hobbies sections?
I would say here do not repeat. يعني either put it in the hobby or in the skills. Because repetition, and actually the CV we were talking that it shouldn't be longer than 2 pages. So it's not recommended to repeat things. Just put it in one place and maybe يعني try to check if it's more suitable to be under skills or under hobbies.
Okay, the next one, could we include the training in the experience field?
Sure, يعني it depends again on what kind of training. If the training is directly related to a job or professional training, حبذا إن يكون it can be put under experience. Maybe people who are having a section for training اللي بيبقوا خدوا more than one training، يعني عنده مثلا 4 trainings، فمش هيحط ال 4 trainings under experience. هو الاكسبيرينس he would like to mention الجوبز. التريننج ده مش كان واحد مثلا وهيحطه مع الاكسبيرينس، فمش عايز يعمل سيكشن كبير ياخد سايز من السي في on that one training. لا, maybe he has 4 5 6 trainings, but he's going to start a new section, no problem. If it's only one, try to include it in the experience.
Okay, the next one, asking about the courses certificates. Either he or she may add them to skills field or training field sections, I mean.
Course certificates, I would say you put them under the part of education, because it's education. If you got a course related to something, يعني a course which is a big course بقى, a course that you studied, it would be education. لو الكورس ده on something technical, so you will include it in training. فهو على حسب الثيم بتاعه ايه. يعني for example I can take a course in computer، فمش هكتب في الاديوكيشن I took a course in computer from blah 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 ومعايا واسم السيرتيفيكت بتاعت الكمبيوتر. لا, I will keep it in the skills عشان using the computer is a skill. لكن let's say I took a course on the science of marketing. لا, ده مش سكيل، ده يعني ده كبير قوي على سكيل، ده في سكيلز كتير. ف you should include it under education that you took a diploma or a course in marketing.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mustafa. Now, please, we can start our game.
Okay. We're waiting for you on.
Okay. Shabab, we have a game. Please use this link and this code to join. Okay, Dr. Mustafa, we can start, please.
Okay, and let's start. Online training can be added to the CV. Yeah, people are Really fast. Okay. Quite faster than the previous game. For sure, it can be added because it demonstrates new skills, digital skills, even modern skills. I should not mention if I am weak in a certain language. Okay, false. You can mention if you are weak in a certain language, but let me يعني comment on this part. Maybe I didn't give it enough time. And what I mean here by weak is not below beginner. يعني below beginner ده مش weak، ده مفيش حاجة. بنتكلم weak like pre-intermediate مثلا يعني, or maybe elementary. You can still mention it. Why? I will tell you why. Let's say, for example, you can speak Spanish on elementary level, right, which is above beginner, and but you cannot use it proficiently, and you work in the field of training. You are a personal trainer who works at the gym, and you would like to go to an international gym, and in that international gym they have foreigners. طب هم الفورينرز هم what they require is someone who can speak elementary Spanish. هم مش محتاجين اكتر من كده because foreigners will be able to say ايه مثلا in a gym, carry something, put it back, what's your name, give me your ID, hello, goodbye. If you can say those يعني if you can adapt on that level خلاص يبقى هو ده المطلوب. You are meeting the requirement. You shouldn't be excellent لان هو اصلا you will not be able to use your excellent language. Again, let's change the mindset. Maybe you think it's weak, but it can be a point of strength في المكان بتاعها, in the suitable place. Let me give you a different example. Let's say you are a chef, someone who can cook well, and you are traveling abroad, and you can speak elementary Italian. They need someone can work in Italy who speaks Arabic. فمثلا your native language will be really strong communicating with Arab people اللي هناك أو visitors, and they need someone who can just read Italian بتاع المنيو, بتاع الأسامي, بتاع البرايسز, مش أكتر من كده. مش يكتب اسي بالإيطاليان ولا يبعت إيميل بالإيطاليان ولا to have a long conversation in Italian. They need someone to بس إنه يقدر to survive. Here, even if it's weak, it can be strong, it can be enough, it can be sufficient. But again, what I mean by weak is that something you can يعني لو I'm not excellent بس يعني I can manage, not scratch, not blank. And let's move on. My CV should only be about education and experience. Okay, false طبعا, because you can add your hobbies, you can add your skills, you can add your training. So it's not only about education and experience. The CV should be sent in for PDF. It's the business format, as we have mentioned. CVs should be tailored to the role, the position you are applying for. Sure, you should tailor your CV to the position and make all of your skills, your hobbies, your interests suitable and matching to the role you are applying for. It's not professional to have a LinkedIn account. طبعا false. It's very professional to have a LinkedIn account. And if you would like to be super professional, you should create a LinkedIn account. And let's take a look at the results. Well done, Fatma. Good job. All right, and let's go back. And let me show you just five stuff, which are the three websites. So let me take you very quickly and check them. So that's wazzaf.net. And as you can see, all of the websites which are related to finding the job, they always have search bar or a search engine to look for a suitable job. And they have certain parts that you can add your skills in and you can add your information in. Sometimes you have a part on the website to upload your CV, and sometimes you can't upload your CV, but you need to type everything according to the format because they are related to search engine. يعني you can يعني الامبلويرز عندهم are checking بالناس اللي على الويب سايت بالفلتر. So for example, if they need a certain city, بيدوروا لازم تكون انت مدخل السيتي on the left. Let's say a company in Alexandria عايزه الناس من Alexandria بس هم they check people اللي مدخلين السيتي Alexandria مش عايزين الناس اللي مدخله السيتي كايرو. الجوب رول، الجوب تايب، الاريا، الكارير ليفل، is it basic, is it managerial, is it admin. So maybe you can it even has a part for employers, as you can see, but even the employers create an account here. So it's all about matching employers and employees. And you can see here lots of job ads, something about Fowry, full-time, experienced, 1 to 2 years. There are 5 vacancies. Sales skills. فلو sales skills يبقى I should manage and tailor my CV to be more matching to sales role. هنا I will represent myself in a better way. For example, electromechanical engineer, light and water art. مش عايزه حد في الكوميونيكيشن. It needs electromechanical, someone who is a specialist in light and water art. So you try again to manage your training towards that part. Content marketing and the copywriting specialist. Copywriting specialist دي it's all about editing and correcting writings and language. So maybe you can say languages, translation, things which are related to editing and being detail oriented. And you can filter here your results by country, so you can see a city and so on. You can browse jobs. You have all of these jobs, and you can find the jobs by location. And even learning here, so maybe it gives you free courses or free trainings on different parts, on art, on banking, on health and safety, law, marketing. technology, IT, soft skills. So try to explore those new platforms and find what's new. And if you try to create an account, so you'll click on join now. You will just write your first name, your last name, your email, your password, and you sign up. And it gives you all of these advantages. Apply for easy jobs, receive alerts. So maybe if you have an employer around you looking for people who have who have skills similar to yours, it gives you an alert, a notification. So it keeps you updated. Discovered by big companies, and it provides you something suitable to your skills and to your education. And let me show you the next one, which is paid. And again, same technique, different website. So you can register here and same thing. And you have here maybe the opportunity to upload your CV. So you can browse the file to upload. And of course, you should upload it in PDF form. And okay. And then after you sign up, you are going to log in here using your username and password. Here there is again a job search engine, and you can choose the country, and you click on search. You can search by city, by area, by role. So you have different filters to use. Maybe someone lives in October, but he can't go to work in Tajamwa. It's too long. It's crazy to spend 3 hours going back and forth. So maybe you need to check uh, available jobs in October. So that might be suitable to someone. And you have here create your own CV. So after you log in, you will be able to find different sections, just like the CV. So something about your contact information, as if you are uh, updating your information on Facebook. And once you finish and you get them saved, your account with your built-in CV will be saved on the website. So once you can see a new job post and you click on apply, all of your information is automatically sent to the employer. And third one, which is my favorite, is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, very professional, and you can have lots of chances to meet the HR people that you might meet in the company and search more about them. So maybe I can click on sign in, and let me sign in myself. And you write your password. Okay. Okay, and it shows you here my profile. So let me go to my profile, which is me here, view profile. And as you can see, you can just, it looks like Facebook in a way. So you can add here like a cover photo. You add here a photo, and of course it should be formal. So try to be as formal as possible. You add here your name and your title, like a very short summary, like your title, who you are, something here about you, and you will start writing here your experience. So how many years, what roles you have managed, different places, education, certifications, volunteer experience. So that's something, again, you can edit here, and employers will be able to notice it. Skills and endorsement, and recommendations. So you can see some people are writing recommendations about me. So employers, when they go and they check your account, they will be able to see who wrote about you and what they have mentioned. And accomplishments, something like the awards. So they will be able to see all of that. And you can get connected with people in different organizations by just searching for them. So if I click on, let's say, HSBC HR, let's see what we are going to get. Can you see? So I'm able to find now someone who is the HR manager of HSBC Bank Egypt. And you can connect with her and send her a message. So that's what really matters. That is the new strategy of finding a job and being able to communicate with people and getting noticed. Here is the trick. Let me try another thing. So let me try to write here. Okay, maybe Ahmad will be interested in Schlumberger. Don't know. I'm not sure if I'm writing the spelling correctly. Let me try Halliburton. Okay, so HR manager at Halliburton. Okay, and you can even know more about her. So she has been working for 13 years in Halliburton. She took different positions. She studied at Ain Shams University. So when you go to the interview, you will be much more confident and you know who you are talking to. That makes you quite ready for the interview. So that's why LinkedIn, in my opinion, is a must. If you don't have an account, create an account today. All right, and uh, okay, those were the 3 different websites, and that's all. Thank you so much for today. And again, that's my email, that's my Facebook account, and as you can see, that's my LinkedIn. So I'll be very happy if you would like to communicate at any time.
Thank you, Dr. Mustafa, for today.
Thank
Joining
you,
us.
Ahmed. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope it was useful to you. I hope I added some new perspectives to how to find a job and how to get your CV. And I really hope it was a kind of added value.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa. See you
Most
tomorrow.
welcome. See you
Uh,
tomorrow, inshallah.
inshallah. Guys, now I will send our attendance form, so please check the chat box. The form will be closed after 10 minutes.
Okay. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
Goodbye. Thank you, Dr. Mustafa.
Welcome.